Hi, it's Lydia here. Welcome to a Flow with Lydia practice. This is part of the digestive series, and today we're practicing a yin class. And my hope with all of the flows and classes that you can find here are all going to help you create a better relationship with your body and especially your gut and your gut health. And this in turn will help improve your relationship with your mind, your mental health as well. There's a huge connection between the gut and the brain, which we'll talk a little bit more about today. And so when you work with one, you work with the other. So it should be a really restorative and calming class that hopefully helps both your digestive system and your mental health too. All you'll need for the yin class today is 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use bricks or any other kind of props, maybe even Tupperware. But for now we'll be using some bricks, but just putting those to the side. We're just going to begin in a seated position, ideally kneeling. So just with the bum resting on the heels. And I'll face this way just so you can see. So getting comfortable. If it feels really uncomfortable on the tops of the feet or the hips, you can always place a block just in between the bum and the heels, just to lift yourself up a little bit. It may feel a little bit nicer. And then closing down the eyes. Palms facing down on the thighs if you need a little grounding, if you're feeling a little anxious, a little flighty, or palms facing up if you're looking for a little more energy. Just allowing yourself to settle into the body. If it's hard for the eyes to come to close, can you just find a point of focus and just allow the gaze to remain on this one item or one focus in the room? But with the eyes closed, it's a little easier to come into the body. Bring your left hand onto your heart, your right hand onto your lower belly. Can you tune into the heartbeat? Can you feel your heart beating in your chest? And for some, this is a little difficult. Maybe with the hand over the heart, it can help to tune into this beating, this sensation of life in the body. Shoulders relaxing away from your ears. Jaw relaxes. Maybe get a little wiggle, releasing any tension there. That space between your eyebrows, with your exhale, can it just melt away, releasing the tension there. And with your hand on your lower belly, can you allow the breath to travel into that right hand? For now, the breath can come in through the nose and out through the mouth, or in and out of the nostrils, your choice. Whatever feels most comfortable for you in this moment. Feel the belly rise and fall with each breath. Tuning into the sensations of your body. How do you feel today? How is your breath moving today? How easy is it to come to stillness? These are all little cues, little symptoms to tell you how your body is today. 2 more deep breaths. Nice. And then we'll come into our first posture. So we're going to tuck the toes under and sit back. And maybe just untucking the little toe. So you really feel this openness across the bottom, the sole of the feet. If this feels a little too strong, and it definitely can, we can bring the blocks forward, maybe just rest the hands here, maybe resting on the forearms. So we want this sensation to feel quite strong, but also to not be so uncomfortable that you can't sit here for a minute or so. And when you've found the place you want to settle, come back to softening, finding that place of ease in the shoulders, the jaw, the tongue. Allow the breath to travel in and out of the nostrils. So when we come into this posture, opening up the feet, we're also activating the stomach and spleen meridians associated with digestion and transformation in the Chinese medicine system. The meridian lines finishing and ending in the toes, the big toe and the second toe. So we're activating these energy lines, waking them up, but also we're opening up the fascia, the connective tissue and the sole of the feet. And these can come very tight. We're often wearing shoes, or maybe we're walking too much or maybe too little at the moment. And this all impacts our feet. And if you've ever had reflexology or something similar, you'll know that the organs are all connected to the feet. Each part of the foot connects to an organ in the body. So when we open up the fascia in this way, we're also energizing and creating harmony in those organs too. Halfway through, your choice if you want to stay where you are, or maybe the tissues have opened up a little bit further and you can go a little deeper into the pose. Maybe sitting further back. And also know that if it's got a lot stronger, give yourself permission to ease off. This practice is all about tuning in, listening to the cues of the body. And then gently releasing, maybe just a little tapping of the tops of the feet onto the mat, releasing. Moving the props out of the way, knees come together, just taking a rebound in child's pose. Forehead resting on the mat. Maybe it feels nice to rest the forehead onto a block. And in each of our rebound poses, we're just taking a moment, a little pause in between each shape, just to notice what comes up, physically, emotionally, sensations of heat, of tingling, maybe blood rushing to the feet. And this is a similar sensation to what happens to the digestive organs internally. Maybe when you experience sensations of stress, a work project that goes wrong, maybe sending an email to 500 people that you weren't meant to, and you get this feeling of this tension and stress. And this feeling then is felt in the gut. You're in this stress, this fight or flight moment in your nervous system. And when this happens, the blood circulation to your digestive organs is cut off. It's redirected to the muscles. The body thinking that you may need to actually run, that you may need to fight. And so the digestive system is impaired. The system slows down, we're not digesting, maybe we feel bloated or gurgly or cramping, while the body is ready to fight. And in our Western lives, so often the body misreads stress signals. It thinks a work stress is maybe akin to a life or death situation. And so the digestive system is not prioritized. And this can weaken our immune system and lead to inflammation. Our immune system is housed in our gut. So if the gut is cut off, so is the immune response. Taking 3 more breaths here. Slow, soothing breaths, no need to rush. Great, and then coming up and coming into our up dragon. So bringing the right foot forward in between the blocks. Hands resting on the blocks on the highest height, and then maybe just shuffling that left knee a little further back. Knee and ankle are in line. And then the hands or the blocks may need to come just underneath the shoulders. Feel a lift and lengthen in the chest, in the heart space, but a real sinking into the hips. So this may be felt quite strongly in the front of the left hip. Closing down the eyes, softening the face. This is quite strong in the lower body, and there is a sense of needing to activate the arms a little just to hold yourself up. But can there be softness everywhere else? Although there is a sense of strength, can there also be a sense of releasing and relaxing into the pose? Focusing on this deep belly breathing. As you breathe in, the belly is filled. And as you exhale, the belly moves back in towards the spine. A little wiggle of the jaw. Feeling that openness across the front of the left thigh. Working the stomach meridian line that runs all the way from the big toe up the front line of the body. In through the digestive organs, the stomach and the spleen, and then up to the tongue. So if you find it difficult to hold here, as you exhale, maybe it feels nice to stick the tongue out, coming into a lion's breath. Activating both ends of the stomach meridian line. Option to stay here or heel toe the right foot out to the edge of the mat. Bring the hands to the inside of the right foot. Maybe the blocks come onto second height or first height, coming into winged dragon. Maybe resting on palms here or coming down to the forearms. Maybe rolling onto the blade of the right foot. And then just allow a length in the back of the neck. If you're in your winged dragon, you may feel this in the inside line of the right leg. Working the spleen meridian. The spleen running along the inside line of the legs. Again, through the internal organs of the stomach and the spleen, and then up to the nose. So whenever we're working the front line of the body or the inside line of the legs, we're activating these meridian lines. And as I mentioned before, these are the meridian lines associated with digestion, with transformation and transportation. The food that we bring in, that we eat, is transformed in the stomach and the spleen with the good nutrients and essence going into the spleen and then creating blood and chi, the life force. And the waste products are taken to the large intestine, the small intestine, and then formed into waste products, our stool and our urine. And I'll leave you in this pose for a few breaths. You focus on this deep belly breathing, the most efficient way to bring ourselves out of that stress response, of that fight or flight, and into our rest and digest. One more breath. And then bringing yourself back up onto the hands. Right foot meets the leg, or right foot meets the left foot, I should say, and coming into a child's pose. Knees together, rounding of the upper back, forehead resting down. Checking in, how does it feel? What is coming up for you? And if a little movement is needed here, maybe pressing back and up to downward facing dog. Hips up to the sky and walking out the feet, pedaling them out. And we'll just take a few breaths here before moving into the second side. Taking a deep inhale, fill the lungs. Exhale, releasing it all out. And then we'll come to the second side. So bringing the blocks up to the highest point. The left foot coming in between the hands and the blocks. Checking that the knee isn't over the ankle. Blocks underneath the shoulders. Heart is nice and lifted, and we come into the up dragon on the left hand side. Nice length in the spine and the neck. Maybe this side feels slightly more challenging. Just be aware of that. Notice that without judgment, just a simple observation. And the body is always giving us clues or cues of what is going on internally. A headache maybe is suggesting that you're not drinking enough water. Or maybe that you're overtired, working too much stress. Even our tongue can tell us what is going on inside the body. If there's inflammation or if there's a thick coating. The stool and the urine can all be symptoms that highlight what is going on inside. But as well as all these physical sensations, we can also notice what is going on in the gut by looking at our mental health, by looking at our feelings of anxiety or depression, of brain fog. All of these symptoms suggesting that the gut is in disharmony, that the gut-brain connection is not working efficiently. So by working with these meridian lines, the stomach and spleen, and by our deep belly breathing, we're allowing more harmony in the body. We're creating a connection of brain and gut, connecting to our body, and enhancing this flow of stagnant chi around the body to protect our internal organs, our internal world. Option to stay here or coming into wing dragon. Heel toeing the left foot out towards the side of the mat. Hands come on the inside and maybe coming to the palms of the hands on the blocks. Your choice how high or how deep you go into the pose. It is not about how the pose looks, but rather how the pose feels in your body. And in Yin, we want this sensation of coming to our edge, a sensation of discomfort. But know that there is a difference between discomfort and pain. And we'll just be here for around 5 more breaths. So notice where you need to be, what suits your body, what serves your body. Wherever you are, allow the breath to be this constant source of comfort. when your last breath finishes. Coming all the way up. Option to come back to a closed knee child's pose, or to come to lie straight on the belly. Maybe it will feel nice to lie flat on the belly, resting on the left or the right cheek. Just creating a little bit of space in the front of the hip flexors, the inside line of the hips. And if you are lying front facing, ensure this deep belly breathing is still flowing through the body. I always think that this feels like a little massage for the lower belly. Just letting the benefits of the pose sink into the body. Allowing this free flow of chi, bringing harmony to the organs, to your digestive system, to the mind. Bring yourself back if the mind wanders. 2 more breaths. And then slowly pressing yourself up. And we're going to use our block for the last pose here. And this is one of my favorite shapes to take, especially when I'm experiencing a lot of pain and bloating and digestive discomfort. So lying on our backs, props ready. And just to get into the pose, pressing the feet into the ground, gently rising the hips up and placing the block just underneath the sacrum. Your choice, whether it's on the lowest height or the second height. Just making sure it's really nice and stable there. All 4 corners of your mat are resting on the floor. And the sacrum is the bony part of the bottom of the back, so it should feel quite comfortable to lie there. Hands can just come out wide of the body, palms facing up. Shoulders resting into the mat. Maybe just wiggling the shoulder blades apart, a little bit more space there. In your supported bridge pose. And the offering here is either to stay with the knees facing up towards the sky, or option to bring one leg out long. So maybe bringing the left leg out long, right knee still facing up towards the ceiling, or maybe both legs come out. And this can feel quite strong, especially in the lower back. So if that comes up for you, then just keeping one leg bent, or even both legs bent. Your choice here. And I'll let you know when we're halfway through. Deep belly breathing. And with this lovely opening, especially with the hips lifted and if the legs are long or not, there's this physical sensation of openness across those internal organs, releasing any tightness and cramping. When we feel stress or when there's pain in the body, often there's a rounding inwards and a clenching in this area of the pelvis and around the stomach. And this can cause more pain and more discomfort as everything rounds in, the muscles tense up. So while we're here, can we actively release, relaxing any tension or contraction in the lower belly. Choose to allow the lower belly to be soft. And if one leg is out long, bring both knees up and then changing legs. So maybe the right leg goes out long and the left knee is up towards the sky. And as the gut and brain connection is so strong, the way that we talk to ourselves has such an impact on our gut health. Our thoughts and our feelings, our mental capacity really impacts the gut, just as the gut impacts the mind and the mental health. So maybe it feels nice for you to adopt these affirmations, repeating after me. I am calm. I am safe. I am healthy. I am loved. I am accepted. I am healthy. I am strong. I am happy. I love myself. I love my body. Maybe a little space for your own affirmations, whatever you're working with, or feels natural or like it's calling your name to say. Two more breaths. And then bring both knees up towards the ceiling. Gently squeezing the glutes, lifting the hips, removing that prop, and then allowing the hips to come back down to earth. Maybe bringing the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a nice big squeeze, a nice rock just to release that lower back. It may feel a little bit tender after that shape. And then really hugging everything in, squeezing the feet, the ankles, the hands, the shoulders, the face, everything is squeezing in. And then as you exhale, allow the limbs to come out long. Feet just resting out naturally wherever they lay. Palms up towards the ceiling. Landing in your final resting pose, Shavasana. And notice where the thoughts go to. The stomach and spleen is connected to Yi, and this is the spirit, the Shen, of this organ that's connected with worrying and overthinking. So when we're really worried and we overthink, this can impact the stomach and spleen, causing disharmony in the digestion, transformation of food and fluids. But equally, if there is already disharmony in the stomach and the spleen and the digestion, then we'll be more worried. We'll experience more overthinking. So coming back for a last few breaths of our deep belly breathing, the most effective way to bring us into our calming nervous system, our parasympathetic rest and digest. Taking a deep breath in, filling the lower belly, the pelvis, all the way up the spine, into the chest and the back, holding at the top. Gently releasing out the mouth. Let's take that twice more. Inhale, lower belly, pelvis, spine, chest, back. Exhaling out the mouth. Last time, biggest breath you've taken all day. Inhale, feel the lower belly, the pelvis, the spine, the ribs, the chest, the back, and release. Feeling the whole belly, body melts into the mat. Releasing any retention of breath, Just allowing the natural breath to be present here. Maybe if any of those affirmations spoke to you, you can repeat those now. I am healthy, I am calm, I am grounded. And then allow the body to absorb all of this movement and stillness. And I'll be here to bring you back out in a few moments. If you have more time, I'd recommend pausing the video, staying in this Shavasana as long as you have time and as long as it feels nourishing for the body. Otherwise, start to come back to the body. Noticing maybe the parts of your body that feel cold or warm, how the clothes feel against your skin. The breath traveling in and out of the body as you come back, as you settle back into your body, your home. And then taking your time, rolling over towards the left-hand side. Maybe the hand or the forearm can support the head. The left side being a really nourishing and restorative place for the digestive organs. So if you ever experience cramping or pain, come to lie on the left side. Checking in with how you feel after this practice, after this time together. How is the body, the mind feeling after you took time to slow down, to check in, feel into your body? And then gently you'll meet in a cross-legged position, the eyes still remaining closed, and the hands facing down for a little more grounding before we come back to our day. Inhale, just lifting the shoulders up towards the ears, and then as you exhale, just allow them to snuggle back and down the spine. Feel this lift and length in the spine. Left hand onto heart, right hand onto belly, where we began. Deep belly breathing. And notice that you can come to this breathing, this deep belly diaphragmatic breath, whenever and wherever you are. If you're at your desk, maybe waiting in line for the supermarket or the post office, maybe on the bus or a train, closing down the eyes and coming to this simple breath that can really help us to connect to the body, come to our rest and digest, supporting our gut health and our mental health. And then bringing hands together at heart center. I am calm, I am healthy, I am grounded. Bowing your head in gratitude for the time together. Namaste. Wishing you great health for your mind and your guts, and I hope to see you here again soon. Thank you so much. Mwah! Love you all.